Hello, everyone, and welcome to this availability announcement for the Liquid Cooling Total Cost of Ownership Calculation Tool version 4. Want to thank everybody who's taken the time to join us today. Those of you who are participants are muted. We will remove the muting and you'll be able to ask questions during the last section. We have a Q&A. First, to introduce our panelists, however. For those of you who I haven't met, my name is Valerie Diehouse. I'm the General Manager of the Green Grid. With us today, we have another member of the Secretariat, Ellis O'Brien. Give a wave there, Ellis. And we have three key members of the development team that created this version of the Total Cost of Ownership tool. First, we have RT Huang and Rich Lappenbush, who are the co-chairs of the Liquid Cooling Group. And we have Liz Cruz, who's the leader of a subgroup to the Liquid Cooling Standing Work Group. And we each have a little bit to tell you today about the new version of the tool. So I think with that, I will hand it over to Rich. I think you're next on the agenda here.
Okay, thank you. So for the past 8 years, the Green Grid has been working to develop a number of liquid cooling tools. This one is focused on total cost of ownership. There are others that focus on power, water, and all sorts of efficiency metrics. And RT, if you could flip ahead one slide, that'd be great. So our mission, for those of you who don't know, is to create these tools and provide this technical expertise, not only to our members, but also share it with regulators and the broad public to advocate for the optimization of energy and resource efficiency for the data center ecosystem. So it's not all IT, but it is focused on the data center community and enable a lower carbon economy or a low carbon economy as a goal. So next slide. So why the Green Grid? Why here? We want to conserve resources, primarily power, but it also grew into water, space, and a number of other metrics by which we consider resource. We want to develop efficiency metrics and tools that we can objectively measure our progress as both individuals and as groups within the community. And then we want to educate the whole world, even those who were not using our metrics, on data center best practices. So even if you don't want to measure with some of the things we've defined and evangelized, there's more than a host of best practices out there to follow. We also do share that with governments, both the EU and the US, on different ideas about how we can improve efficiency and incent efficiency-based decisions. Obviously, this leads to becoming more competitive, more responsible, and helps all our customers reduce their operating costs, which helps reduce corporate risk of regulation and a bunch of other things. So that's, in a nutshell, what the Green Grid provides to its membership. Next slide. This is a quick flash of all our members. Next slide. And here in depth are some of the metrics. We're not going to focus on all these today. This is a quick half-hour blast through. But just to give you an idea, there are a deeper set of efficiency metrics out there for power, water, carbon, space, even electronic disposal and full life cycle that have been out there for years and very well defined, very mature metrics and definitions out there. Next slide. We've already done introductions, so I think we're good there. We can skip this slide. And now let's get to the heart of the matter. What is the liquid cooling total cost of ownership calculator? Well, for many of us, we've struggled with how do you evaluate performance and how do you evaluate success. And for most in the data center, that's around financial and operational benefits and reducing risk to the absolute de minimis. So we can not only run cleaner and more efficient, but we can run with higher availability and more reliability. And with that, this particular tool is designed for someone who's got a data center and wants to take a corner of it and consider a liquid cooling deployment, whether that's a data hall dedicated just for liquid or a portion of a data hall. And it's really designed in the 1 to 10 megawatt range is kind of its sweet spot. So next slide. We're going to talk about what's new in version 4, but you should be aware that this has been going on for 8 years, and there's a bunch of richness in this model and a bunch of great thinking that's documented. Most importantly is the liquid cooling effectiveness and the workload types that can be added in, as well as the PPUE, and both of those metrics and how they work together is something that's timely and valuable. And we've also added in not only liquid to air CDUs, but liquid to liquid CDUs. So a new flexibility to evaluate and consider new methods of getting cooling. We also have a closed loop tower, direct to chip cold plate, two-phase cooling option, so kind of a combo, a hybrid that's developed in the market over the past few years, and secondary fluid types, alcohol and natural esters. Also, the building envelope and the way in which we evaluate buildings and some of the key assumptions and some of the baseline assumptions that are in the model have also been updated. But we've given the user knobs so they can adjust that, as well as lighting sources. Next slide. And what do you get out of this output? Well, effectively, after a few minutes of giving it different variables, you get the benefit of a 10-year run rate of what is this going to cost for me to set up day 0, and then what's it going to take for me to run it for 10 years in a bunch of different categories. Energy cost, maintenance costs, water costs, also what is it going to cost me in square footage? What's it going to cost me to cool that square footage and maintain that square footage? And also measuring the cooling loads over tons, and then getting the idea of how many liters of water might be consumed in this sort of deployment, and also what that means in some of the efficiency metrics, LCE, PUE, WUE, and CUE, which RT is going to cover in depth here shortly. So with that, I'd like to introduce RT. RT. Let's kick it off with a live demo of the calculator, and RT, take it away. We'll need you off mute, buddy.
Okay, and now I would demo this calculator directly. So thank you for moderating this webinar. You're proud to present this TCO calculator and honored to have been leading the liquid cooling work group in the Green Grid. This is the 2023 version 4 TCO calculator. We have in which we have 6 worksheets. 2 are for user input, and the other 4 are the calculator outputs. So the first worksheet, user can input a location. We have 6,321 locations worldwide. That's to simulate the data center location simulation. So let's begin with picking the location. Let's say Taipei. Yeah. And once user pick a location, the tool automatically brings up its information of that location, the latitude, longitude, and elevation, and time zone, and most importantly, the climate zone. 2A is humid and hot. And in the next worksheet, user need to input some basic data center information. Cost of electricity, cost of facility water, and the maintenance cost annual increase, discount rate, energy rate annual increase, tariffs, and taxes. Also, the total IT energy and UPS efficiency, lighting source, and type of workloads. We have 5 scenarios. Yeah. So summation of these 5 scenarios is 100%. And the maximum power for our air cooling cabinet, and the proportion of air cooling, and maximum power for our liquid cooling cabinet, and the CDU capacity. And CDU type, we have liquid to liquid and liquid to air. Let's say liquid to liquid. And the CDU cost per unit. And we have air cooling method, direct expansion and chiller-based cooling, and white space room temperature, let's say 77 Fahrenheit. And we have a cooling tower selection, wet and dry, and also a hybrid. Yeah, 3 options. And the building envelope, concrete and lightweight steel, concrete insulate and lightweight steel insulate. And this is the liquid cooling method. We have 5 segments: rear door heat exchanger, direct to chip, single phase, direct to chip, 2-phase, and emergent single phase and emergent 2-phase. And facility water temperature, let's say 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And selection of a secondary coolant. Yeah, we have 6 categories, but once we select direct to chip single phase, we have only 3 options. So if we change other liquid cooling method, we need to change the coolant. Yeah, okay. So let's change back to this. Okay, and the input of the secondary coolant cost. We have default input. A user can input whatever they like. Yeah, and the result will based on the user input. Once the 2 worksheets are done, the calculator will output the data center design, the total cabinet, and total cabinet for air cooling, total cabinet for liquid cooling, and the whole area, infrastructure area, and total data center area, and the annual facility water consumption, and also the performance metrics, LCE, PUE, WE, and CUE. So with that setting, location, and data center input information, we already calculate these 4 metrics here. And also, it will output the annual energy, the mechanical energy for air cooling system and for liquid cooling system. And we also have others energy including electric loss, lighting, and miscellaneous loss, and building loss. And as you can see here, this is the total annual energy consumption. And this worksheet shows the first cost with the cooling method being chosen. Yeah, this worksheet just shows the first cost, and the last one shows the total cost for 10 years. As you can see here, it's 6,300,000. And notice that the water and electricity do not show in first cost. They appear in running cost only. And this pie chart shows the proportion of first cost, and this shows the proportion of running cost. You can see that electricity occupy 84% of the running cost. So, and now we simply change a parameter. Let's say maybe we raise the room temperature from 77 to maybe 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, we can see that we can expect saving for water and electricity. So all metrics go down and the total cost accordingly. So it's now 5,800,000. Let's further change the location, since we keep all the parameters the same, all the inputs the same, by changing the parameter only, by changing location only. Let's pick a location in the United States, maybe at Oregon. Yeah. Yeah. Portland International Airport. Yeah. And we can see that we will expect this climate zone is 5A. So we will expect further saving of water and electricity. You can see that all the metrics further go down. Yeah. That is to say, go greener. And the total cost accordingly is now 5,200,000. Yeah. So this tool shows that the impact of a climate and cooling method and setting temperature, yeah, on the performance of a data center and the financial result. Okay. Oh. And yeah, I will go to and then these.
Yes, thank you so much, RT, and thank you for that demo. It is a very impressive and useful tool. So along with that tool is also a handbook that accompanies it, and the handbook primarily, importantly, walks through the logic and a lot of the assumptions involved in the creation of the tool. But it's also incredibly robust in terms of providing market context, drivers, challenges. It goes into the roles and responsibilities involved with operating liquid cooling in a data center. So it's a really useful tool. It's about 80 pages, and a new updated version is also available along with this calculator. And then one of the changes that we did address this year, I think we all have seen over the last year a lot of liquids coming into the market for data center cooling, for data center uses. And there were a couple things that happened as these were all coming online. One was there was a major exit in the market of coolants. And then there was also some announcements from chip manufacturers in terms of what was approved, and it was a fairly limited scope. So it was decided that, the Green Grid, a third party, could come together and look and figure out what is actually being used right now for data center cooling. And it's a lot. I mean, it's over 70 different liquids that are being used for cooling right now. And so the purpose of the list that's in the handbook does go through and outline the manufacturer name, the product category, whether it's a fluorochemical, water-based, et cetera, but then also the applicable cooling segment. And so it's very useful in that regard. And I'll just say, as we were doing the research for this, two key trends became fairly apparent. One was kind of there's a lot of liquids out there. And recently at the OCP Summit, Rich Lappenbush, along with Allison Bowen and Rolf Brink, hosted a liquid cooling bazaar where hundreds attended and asked questions. And the most common question was from kind of vendors in the ecosystem asking about what liquids are going to be used, because they're tired of testing all of these different liquids against all of the various components. And so a desire to zero in on a more limited number is, out there. However, at the same time, there's a lot of attention on the sustainability of different coolants. And so companies, as they should, are continuing to improve coolants to make them more sustainable, lower GWP, et cetera. And so more and more coolants keep getting added to the mix. So while there is a need to standardize, we're not ready to standardize yet because there's not a perfect solution out there. There's not an obvious winner, right? The other interesting thing that I'll comment on is that there's now, for a while, at the beginning of this year and late last year, a lot of talk around PFAS. And companies, important companies in the market, I mean, Cargill is a part of the Green Grid. There's also companies out there like Chemours that are really working to educate the market on what is really a forever chemical versus what is something that's released as gases and dissolves within a couple of days and not as bad. It's a continuum, right? And we need to take the responsibility of educating not only the market, but also regulators to protect our industry from, decisions that are ill-informed and also not helpful to us. So this, helped in that initiative, but it also, I think, revealed some of the different trends that are going on in the coolant space. So I will now pass it back to Valerie to talk about how you can be part of the Green Grid and can be part of these initiatives.
And I will try to keep this short because I know that y'all came to hear about the tool, not to hear a pitch. So let me just say that we are stronger when we are building new tools and new metrics and new overviews and white papers and evaluations by having more voices in the groups. And with that point, I'd like to see any of you who are not already Green Grid members, please become members of the Green Grid. One of the incentives are that things like this tool you get in earlier, not just in helping to development, but you get access to it earlier. The same goes often with some of the white papers and the information that is collected. So you have access to the raw data that is collected and can draw your own conclusions instead of just getting the distilled results that come out in the white paper. So with that, please, by all means, if you have an interest in joining the Green Grid, please send an email to that Secretariat email address that you see on the screen. Just in case anybody's calling in and is not looking, it's tgg-secretariat@thegreengrid.org. You'll reach me or Ellis, and we will make sure we get a response back to you quickly. So, and that, I think I will stop my pitch there, other than to say the calculator is immediately available to those of you who are members. It's in the TGG Public Library, along with the associated handbook. For non-members, you can download the handbook and look at it, but the tool itself is not yet available. It will be sometime at or maybe slightly before, but no later than the end of the first quarter of 2024, we will have it available in some form, probably for purchase. So that's it. Thank you all very much. And I think it goes, who does it go back to now? Oh yeah, to all of us for a question and answer session. Now I need to figure out how to unmute everyone. So give me there, because I don't do webinars much. My participants list.
And you can also type a question in the Q&A box at the bottom if you have any as well.
We may have to do that because I am not seeing how to unmute. So I think the thing is you're just going to have to type your question in, please. Is there a fully metric version? Oh, that's a very good question. I'll leave that to RT to answer, but I think the short answer is no, because some things only come in square feet or things. RT, can you answer that one? Is there any plan to go fully metric?
Yes, currently we have LOC PUE, which is similar to PUE, since we know that PUE cannot actually reflect the energy saving of liquid cooling. So we have LC and PUE, WE, and CUE. CUE is related to PUE, and WE is relevant to the heat rejection mechanism. Currently, we don't have the space effectiveness because we need further research for the SPUE. Yeah.
RT, I think the question is more basic than that. It's about units. So instead of square feet, or I think we have coolants maybe in liters, but there are still some parameters in the tool that are English, or what's it called, STP, instead of being metric, instead of being centimeters, liters, etc. Do we still have parameters in there that are not the metric system?
No, currently we have English units only. So
okay.
Yeah, we can further improve that.
So the answer to the question, is there a fully metric version? No, there is not. Hopefully we can get folks in, and in version 5 or version 6, we can address that too. Okay, the next question. The tool is phenomenal. No shortcuts or rules of thumb. Highly recommend it. Great job to the team. Thank you very much. Solid algorithms.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Yeah, and then what is the timing for version 5 or 6 is the next question. That depends a lot on member participation. Version 3 to version 4 was 1 year. If we have leadership and we have participation, perhaps we will turn version 5 in a year. But Green Grid is entirely a member-driven organization, and that's it. There's no mandate that it shall come out in a year. It's content-driven and member-driven. So that's our answer there. Other questions? Okay. Well, we are approaching the top of the hour. If we don't have other questions, I'll probably wrap it up by saying thank you to all of you who have participated, and to our panelists. I do look forward to hearing from any new folks in the group, and I hope that our Green Grid members haven't become too exhausted and you come back next year ready to work on version 5, because things don't get better by chance, things get better by change. So thank you all very much, and that'll be it for today. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.